Greetings, 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 my friendly students. Turn with me, if you will, to Lesson 12. Lesson 12 in Seow, a grammar for Biblical Hebrew. Lesson 12, page 132. Lesson 12 is the lesson you've been waiting for. You're like, man, he just keeps advancing the ball up the field so far every lesson. Can we just take a break and do something really simple? Just one thing, not 10 things. Not 10 important things in a single lesson? You've been wondering, yes, you have. And the answer for you is Lesson 12. Okay? Lesson 12 has one topic, putting those suffixes, which hopefully by this point, beginning in Lesson 9, you've already learned, the endings to li, laka, laklo, la, all that stuff, putting those endings on nouns. In this lesson, he gives you a lot of charts. He shows you a lot of different kinds of nouns, plural and singular nouns, different types of nouns, nouns that are nouns that have 2 letters, nouns that have 3 letters, nouns that are strong, nouns that are weak in some ways or have gutturals, etc., etc., etc. Different types of nouns, coddle, kiddle, cuddle types of nouns. But all he's giving you are nouns. And he's showing you charts of what those nouns end up looking like and all their little idiosyncrasies once you just tack on to the end of that noun the pronomial suffix. Pronomial is just a kind of fancy word which means the suffix on the end of the noun of personal possession. Okay. So really this is just like the same chart over and over, just showing you how these endings look on different kinds of nouns. Do you need to memorize with total pinpoint accuracy at this point every variation for every type of noun? No. No, you don't. The more you can memorize, though, I mean, the better off you'll be. That's always true in this class, right? So you know there's always like a base level of things that we want to do together as we study this grammar. But there are, and those things you need to know and memorize. And then there are things that you would be good to know as far as you can push. And you need to be able to recognize when you see them, but, this is not like for memorization. But take page 132, for example. Just the noun sus. Sus and susim, horse, horses. If you could get just that one chart down pat, just copy it down over and over and over again on a sheet of paper, put it on a note card. I don't know what you have to do. Make a separate note card for each of these, for each singular and plural, first, third, second, third person, feminine and masculine. And you could recognize what these are, that would be a great, huge quantum leap forward for you, okay? So just page 132, just that chart. Sus, horse, susim, horses, sus, horse of, could also be construct, remember. And then for plural, suse, horses of. In a sense, if you look down the plural there, the suffixes are built on the base that is kind of like the construct. Like if you chop that mem off the end of the plural, susim, and you just have suse, like for the construct, you just add that suffix consonant, and that's how it goes. So susav, suseha, susecha, susaich, susai, susehem, susehen, susechem, susechen, susenu. Horses, horses of, his horses, her horses, your horses, my horses, their horses, all that. Okay. In the singular, it's even simpler, especially for a word like sus, kind of nice. You just tack the ending on. Suso, susa, suscha, susech, susi, susam, susan, suschem, suschen, susenu. There you have it. I mean, flip through these pages. It's just that over and over and over and over and over again, right? I mean, this is you're seeing it right here. Davar works the same way. Geminate nouns. I mean, the geminate nouns, page 136. They look a little bit different, but look at am. We know the root there is ayin mem mem. Am. Look at the suffixes on am. Amo, ama, amecha, amech, ami, amam, aman, amechem, amechen, Amenu. It's the same endings. O, a, cha, k, I, chem, ken, nu. Same thing with chetz, arrow. Same thing with chok, statute. Okay. Look at the plurals on page 137. It's the same endings, except you've got to note that the yod is crushed in there. Remember that yod. Maybe if it helps you to remember that in the construct plural nouns end in that yod. Masculine plural nouns, okay? Page 138. Oh, look. He's putting it on segolits, like melech and neder and chodesh. Look at how melech works on page 138. Melech. But then, because of that funny issue of the historical development of segolits, like they used to have a real theme vowel, like a or I or u, melech happened to be malkum or something like that, so it was an A. You get malko. I'm just going down the column for melech. Malko. Malka. Malkecha, your king. Malkech, your king, but speaking to a woman. Malki, Malkam, Malkan, their king. Some of these are funny, like Malkan, their king, meaning the king of those women, their being the women, female. I mean, Malkan is not a form that ever really appears, you know, because the Bible's never really just speaking about a group of women and the king being their king. But he's going to give you some of these forms sometimes. Maybe it is a form that appears in the Bible, for all I know. Pretty rare, though. I mean, not all these endings appear on all these words all the time, but you should know what they are. Because any of them could appear on any word. It just doesn't mean that it has to be on a given word. Malkechem, Malkechen, Malkenu. There you have it. I mean, so neder, vow, has I as the vowel. So it's nidro, nidra, nidrecha, etc. Chodesh has the O or U class vowel. Chodsho, chodsha, etc. Then he gives you some plurals. Turn the page. He's got, father, brother, mouth, some other kinds of nouns. He's got some other kinds of nouns here. That's it. Okay? You can do this. But if you haven't memorized that li, laka, laklo, la, lanu, lahem, lahen, lahem, lahen paradigm, if you haven't remembered that yet with those endings, however you want to memorize them, okay, some of this stuff is still going to be murky. Okay? You see here, you know already, right, that Hebrew, like any language learning, like learning math or anything like this, it requires, each thing is like a building block, and to know the next thing, you have to know all the previous things too. But in this case, look, you don't need to memorize every single thing, but you do need to know those endings. And if you see a word like melech, you're like, oh, a king. Ha-melech, the king. Melech Yisrael means king of Israel. Construct. Malki? Oh, what's that ending doing on there? Malki, oh, my king, right? Malkam, their king. Whatever. Okay. Page 142 gives you some vocabulary there. Just some good old words. Just some more words to memorize, okay? You get words that appear a lot like oz, strength. Nachala, inheritance, that's a good one. Mitzvah, oh, that's a good word. Plural mitzvoth, commandment. A lot of commandments in the Bible, okay? So you get a lot of that kind of stuff. It's funny to note the word af for nose, face, anger, masculine dual apayim. Af can also mean anger. So speaking about one's nose or one's nose flaring is a way in the Bible of talking about anger, especially divine anger, okay? God gets mad sometimes. And you've got various words. On page 143, here's a word to know. The exact form that this word is in, lemor, under other there on page 143 of vocab. Lemor is not as a word whose form we haven't got to yet. It's a call infinitive construct. Don't worry about that yet. But lemor appears like thousands of times in the Bible. Whenever they're going to introduce a character speaking, it's always like, Vayomer Elohim el Moshe, lemor, and God said to Moses, saying, ... It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like comma, quote, begin the quote. So lemor is a good one just to get to know at this point, okay? Short lesson today.